Did you hear him, Cinnamon?
Get up!
He's ready.
Okay. Wait, are you moving the pallet jack and stuff first, or?
Yeah, I can do that.
Like before we back up to the dock?
Yeah, I can do that. Normally we don't even use the pallet jack, so it stays up front like 90% of the time. And since this is a reefer load, I kind of wanted to do it before we backed up, because while I'm moving stuff around, I actually have the back doors shut. They're like cracked open a little bit because I shut them by myself and while I was inside the truck. But this way it still contains some of the temperature that we had before we back up, because once we back up, it's going to get up to room temp really fast, whatever's in their building. Usually their buildings are a lot warmer than what the box is. So it's like, it almost defeats the purpose of even cooling the truck before we even get there. But that's something we got to do, and I'm just trying to save time for me and Cinnamon once we get everything loaded, strapped down, so that way we don't have to wait as long for that sucker to cool down, but it's still going to take time anyway, so.
When you're the driver that's waiting in front and the other person's either opening the doors or rearranging something back there, you tend to find yourself looking at each side mirror because you don't know which side they're coming from. And since it's a refrigerated load, you don't want it to be open too long or anything. So you constantly find yourself looking for the person as soon as they pop up, and then you get ready for the next thing to go.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me.
So basically what we're doing was the person back there that's backing the other person up, that's backing up the driver or whatever, the person standing outside, that's what I'm trying to say. They're letting the driver know whether or not, you know, we need to let the air out of the airbags to lower the box, so that way it lines up with our dock better. And this place, we gotta let the air out, and so that's what the noise is.
You have 7 hours and 50 minutes of remaining direct time.
It's always fun to be the one that's raising or lowering the landing gear. It's just wind and 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 wind. Oh crap. Feels like it takes forever.
Get that? Awesome. the cats. They must hear us in the back and all this commotion and everything. And whenever one of us would actually leave for the day, we'd walk out the door. The cats would always go up to the door and they'd be pawing at the door and meowing, and they wouldn't stop. And I haven't thought about that for the longest time. But then with the audio that we checked out, it seems like they haven't dropped that habit at all. I love those cats.
You like it going this way? I want to go across the...
Wait, you like it going this way, right? Like where you pull
whatever
it
the
towards you?
short end is on this side. Yep, just like that. Yeah. I should have had more, I didn't have enough slack in it. Wasn't thinking. Go ahead and get a couple more.
Do you want one down there?
Basically, we're strapping everything against the two bars and then we're strapping them down. I like to treat everything like it's worth $1 billion, $1 million, whatever. It's hard to say what the value is of the stuff. You know, it ranges, I'm sure, all the time. You never know what you have, but it's priceless to the customer. So we're treating it such.
So sometimes I find that there's always one person who's particular about maybe the paperwork and the other person is particular about how to strap it. So Darrick is definitely the one who has his own special way of how he likes everything to be strapped, where he feels confident when we're driving down the road that we always joke around with the shipper. If the truck flips, we know that it's not going to go anywhere because we always use a lot of straps. But it's better to be over-strapped than to not have enough and for the freight to move around and get damaged by any means.
I'm going to go ahead and put a bar down for the next one.
You have one over here.
Oh, good. Thank you. I totally forgot. Thank you.
Usually with different pallets, we'll have one, if it's one on the end, pulling it so that everything is nice and tight and against each other, and then we'll have at least two over the sides. So just depends how heavy it is, how light it is, or how bulky it is. But with this one, we actually have to use the pallet jack. So we have to make sure that that is ready to go. So as soon as we open the doors, we can pull it on out into the lift gate and be ready to go.
3 bars, 4 straps.
Okay. Turn on the reefer. I can't help it. I always like to remind him to do everything. Yes, that's why.
That's funny.
It was on my list to do. I was gonna fill that up too, but I didn't get to it. But I'm like, you know, we filled up the water that was up there, so it was okay.
So these jugs that we bought from gas station previously, after we was done with them, we kept them and we just bring them home. So when we are home and we reset at home or whatever, we filter our well water at home and we just fill these things back up. And I want to say we have like over 10 of them. We have a lot of them. We have like a couple different cubby holes that we just fill with these things. So that way if we're gone for weeks at a time, we can just use this water. Not only does it save us money, but it's nice because we can drink our country fresh well water. What'd you say, 8?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like they're all at 13 degrees Celsius. It's funny, like I don't know how old that water bottle is that I'm using, but it's maybe 6 months old. We just keep on refilling it with our country fresh well water. Ah, water tastes so good. Get you some of that country fresh well water.
Isn't that weird how sometimes like that tastes so much better than any kind of other drink?
Well, that's what we was intended to have. What's funny is I get
When
tired of water, but when my body is really needing it, it's like it's so amazing.
Oh my goodness, it's better than anything.
It's just weird.
Okay, I'm gonna get changed real quick.
You have 7 hours and 50 minutes of remaining drive time.
Thanks, Betsy. We gotta put on the calendar that I won.
I wonder if anybody else like says happy anniversary every month, even though they've been married a few years, and treat it as a competition.
I think we're competitive with everything. How many are you up on me on Domino's? Six now?
6.
Ugh. And you beat me at my game.
What's your game? Train?
Train, yeah.
Mine is chicken foot.
Yeah, I'm not usually good at that. Actually, I think that's the last time I won was at chicken foot. That's why it was weird.
That is weird.
This girl was really good. Like, I was gonna start walking her through and filling it out, and she took a pen and then she started filling it out, and I'm like watching her because and then she like even signed and then print, like she did great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was nice because she did it fast too, so it didn't take long.
Yeah.
So, we just have one that's below the 8. Oh no.
Restroom time.
Norton's digging. So I hope not. Okay, the loads assigned. Did you already put like unloading and stuff?
Yeah, I
You already were?
Yep,
Okay.
did it correctly.
I'm gonna put it on this screen. You already sent all those. You have both addresses in there?
Yep, we're good to go.
Okay. We just need to get
You'll
the
probably
temperature
have,
and do the...
I got a feeling you'll probably have to drive like a good hour or 2 hours because I'm going to have to stop far away from the city because it's going to be late at night just to find a spot to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
I wanna drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.